Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Whether you're a seasoned legal pro, a genealogist digging up roots, or really just a curious citizen, having a solid grasp of your local judicial system, it's basically a superpower. So today, we're going to demystify exactly how to navigate Mahoning County's court records. Literally, we are going to unlock the secrets to Mahoning County's court records, unravel the mysteries of legal cases at your fingertips. It sounds dramatic, but honestly, inside these records are the actual real-life stories of our community. We're talking civil disputes, criminal proceedings, and major family milestones. Let's figure out how to actually find them. Here is a quick look at our roadmap for today. We're going to map out the court landscape, look at how to get online access, cover in-person visits and fees, and then finally navigate the special rules for restricted records. Okay, let's dive into this. Starting off with Section 1, the Mahoning County court landscape. Because as you might guess, the judicial system here isn't just one giant filing cabinet. You really need to know which door to knock on. It's kind of like a giant puzzle. On one side, you have Clerk of Courts Michael P. Saccone. He manages the common pleas and area courts, so think criminal cases and major civil disputes. But then, on the flip side, Judge Robert N. Russo Jr. leads the probate court. They run a totally independent system for things like wills, adoptions, and estates. And if you're wondering, that's exactly what probate means, the legal process of handling a person's estate. Now, what's really interesting about this slot is how the lower court jurisdiction actually breaks down geographically across the county. Mahoning County decentralizes its area courts across Boardman, Sebring, Austintown, and Canfield. So let's say you're looking up a traffic ticket from Austintown. Well, it originates right there on Mahoning Avenue, not downtown. Knowing this map in your head is going to save you a ton of time. But what about the really high-stakes stuff, right? That's the Common Pleas Court. This is the heavy-hitting trial court handling criminal felonies, civil suits over $15,000, real estate foreclosures, and divorces. If your research involves major legal battles, divorce decrees, or comprehensive background checks, this is absolutely the jurisdiction you need to focus on. So now that we know who holds the records, let's move right into Section 2. Accessing court records online. We're zooming into the absolute easiest access points right now. Each of these gatekeepers has their own specific online database. For common pleas and area cases, you'll head over to ecourts.mahoningcountyohio.gov. But for wills and estates, you need probate.mahoningcountyohio.gov. And guys, here is an absolutely amazing detail for the history buffs out there. That probate portal actually grants you access to historical marriage and genealogical records dating all the way back to 1846. You can literally trace family histories or check the progress of a case right from the comfort of your own couch. And don't worry, you absolutely do not need a law degree to use these portals. You just need to search smartly using basic identifying info like a party name, a case number, or a record type. The real secret sauce here is reading the docket. That's simply the chronological log of the case. It shows you the initial filings, the motions, and the final judgments. Just, watch your spelling. And remember that one person might have records spread across different courts, depending entirely on the severity of their cases. Of course, sometimes you need physical, certified copies, or maybe you're hunting for older, non-digitized records. Let's move to and see how this builds into Section 3, in-person visits and fees. Your central hub for all in-person requests is the Clerk of Court's office, led by Michael P. Saccone, located down at 120 Market Street in Youngstown. They're open regular business hours, Monday through Friday. Now, under the law, public records have to be made available promptly. You don't have to put your request in writing, and actually, scratch that, you don't even have to show ID, though providing specific details definitely helps the clerks find what you're looking for way faster. So the crucial point is that obtaining these public records is highly accessible and super affordable. By law, they can only charge you for the actual cost of the copies, not the labor it took to find them. Standard paper copies, just 10 cents a page. And honestly, it gets even better. If you want electronic files downloaded onto a CD, the whole shebang is just $1. And get this, if the files are already electronic and you just want them emailed to you, there is no charge. It's completely free. No way, right? But it's true. And this kind of openness is exactly what leads to a better informed community. That being said, transparency does have its legal boundaries. Let's guide you into the final, slightly more complex territory in Section 4, Special Rules and Restrictions.
There is a brand new rule rolling out in April 2025 from the prosecutor's office that seriously impacts body-worn camera and video requests. You can't just ask for a video and get it handed to you immediately anymore. You have to submit a request, wait up to 5 business days for a cost estimate, and here's the catch. You have to prepay a $60 per hour preparation fee for the estimated reduction time before they even touch it.
I know, $60 an hour can add up fast. But don't worry too much because state law provides a hard ceiling. You will never be charged more than $750 per video. Plus, if the video is short and takes 15 minutes or less to prepare, they waive the fee entirely. Another highly restricted area is juvenile court. And this brilliantly illustrates how the justice system balances competing interests. Unlike adult trials, juvenile proceedings in abuse, neglect, or custody cases aren't automatically open or closed. A judge has to actively weigh if public access could cause reasonable harm to the child or impact the fairness of the trial. If that potential harm outweighs the public's right to transparency, the records get restricted to protect their privacy and safety. Because of this incredibly sensitive balancing act, the advance notice protocols are strict. For journalists navigating this, media outlets have to request access a full 48 hours in advance. On the flip side, if you're a party to the case requesting that a hearing be closed to the public, you usually have to file that motion 7 days before the hearing even happens. Okay, before we wrap things up today, a very quick, grounded reminder. We've given you the map to find these records, but this explainer is strictly for informational purposes. It does not constitute legal advice. Court cases are, incredibly complex. If you're analyzing a deep background check or facing real legal action, please make sure you consult the Mahoning County Bar Association or actual legal counsel. We've covered the landscape, the tools, the procedures, and those all-important ethical guardrails. You literally now hold the keys to a vast vault of civic information. So, I'll leave you with a final provocative thought. With these secrets unlocked, how will you responsibly use your newfound power to actively explore your local government and justice system? Stay curious, and thanks so much for learning with me today.